Oh man, what's going on, guys? It has been a hot minute since the last time I flew, and even longer since the last time I posted a video. So I'm out here. I brought a couple batteries. We're gonna go ahead and fly my 6S quad. So the X-Hover motors, 1824 kV motors, and I haven't flown this rig in a while, but the last time I flew it, it flew really well. So hopefully everything is the same. And today we're gonna do something a little bit different. It's more so kind of like a little FPV lesson for you guys. Just a couple tips and tricks to help you just take your flying to the next level. So nothing too crazy, no super fancy tricks, probably just some small things to think about whenever you go out and practice. So let's go out and give it a rip. Also, what I see a lot of pilots doing is they usually fly just too high off the ground in general. So, tip number one is just fly a lot closer to the ground. Okay, kind of like that. Quad flies different from the my other quad, Forest quad, but still getting used to it. So yeah, just fly a lot closer to the ground first of all. Next thing I want you guys to practice is think of your pitch as like your assistant to your throttle. So your pitch and your throttle basically go hand in hand, because like for example, I can use this much throttle, and the minute I pitch forward, you lose altitude and you start going faster, right? So you can kind of use those in conjunction to each other to, for example, do a move like that where you don't really have to go forward very far to just like do something semi-juicy looking like that, right? So just think of your pitch as working together with your throttle to control your speed and control your altitude. Okay, same goes for like when you go over stuff like this. If you have too much pitch forward, you're gonna fly through that sucker. But if you pitch back just a little bit more than normal, you can kind of ease on through it. Okay, so
30 seconds.
There's situations like that, right, where maybe the typical pilot probably would have gone over it and just zoomed on past it like that. But if you really want it juicy, you need your pitch to help you control your camera angle and your speed, because if you zoom right past it, it's really hard to see it, and it makes it a lot less appealing to the eye, right? The next thing to practice is controlling your throttle so that you're doing a lot less large throttle blips when you're falling, and more so just a gradual transition. So for example, so let's say I'm gonna do a trick, right? So kind of eased down, used a little bit of pitch to help me get closer to the ground, because like I said earlier, a lot of pilots aren't flying close enough to the ground. All right, so go ahead and practice kind of doing the more, you could do like a split ass, right? But you also need to be smooth when you do a juicy flick like that, right? Everyone's able to do a smooth split S, but it's the part where you're doing everything else that gets tricky. See, just ease on down. There was no crazy throttle blips when I did that, right?
30 seconds.
You gotta know how quick your quad is falling. See, I'm just keeping an eye on the ground the entire time.
20 seconds.
And slowly making my way down closer to the ground. Nice and easy. Be able to do stuff like that. There's nice and easy into something else that's smooth, close to the ground. Nice and easy backwards. Nice and easy back down. And then back through this guy. Didn't quite make it, but we're back in it. All right, so just be a little bit more gradual with a lot of your typical throttle blip falls, like when you're coming down out of stuff. Kind of like that. All right, so that's gonna be it. Just remember the 3 tips that I talked about today. Tip number 1 is very simple. Just fly a lot closer to the ground whenever you're coming out of dives and tricks. Really just try and gradually stay much closer to the ground and also try and get a little bit closer to objects. Number 2 was to make sure that you use pitch and throttle together. They both help each other out to do moves a lot smoother and also maximize your control of your speed and your distance, right? So if you're pulling out of a dive or something like that, you can use pitch and throttle to really ease out of it, or fly right through it. And so a lot of juicier pilots, they have the pitch control to ease out of a lot of things, so that way they can like yaw around the tree and still be looking at it without going too fast. Because if you go too fast, you end up getting maybe too much motion blur or something like that, and it doesn't look as nice. Last tip is mostly just focus on your throttle in general. Whenever you're about to fall, don't do a large blip and end up too high off the ground. Really ease into your throttle and figure out where that sweet spot is to where you can get nice and close to the ground. So hopefully this stuff was helpful. Maybe we'll do another hangout session and I can show you guys some other tips and tricks, but I'll catch you guys later. See you.